let's hear it for spirits.
Welcome to Let's Hear It for Spirits, the podcast for grown adults who outlive their childhood fears, only to realize that this stuff is way worse. I'm Dylan.
And I'm Austin. And tonight, we're peeling back the crusty, charred gloves of a horror icon, Freddy Krueger himself. More importantly, we are diving into the real story that birthed him. And spoiler, it didn't come from the script, it came from the morgue.
And in the late 1970s and early 80s, young men, mostly Southeast Asian refugees, were dying in their sleep. No trauma, no illness, just gone. It actually baffled the doctors, devastated families, and quietly laid the foundation for Wes Craven's most nightmarish creation.
I believe the condition is known as sudden unexplained nocturnal death syndrome, SUNDS. And once you hear about it, you'll understand why some people stop trusting their own beds.
There are mentions of terror, superstition, science, and stimulants, because some folks would do anything to stay awake.
Also, quick note, before we go further, yes, we use humor, sometimes dark, sometimes dumb, but it's never bad to mock the dead. It's to stay sane while talking about the worst things that can happen when your eyes close.
So dim the lights, top off whatever's keeping you awake at night, and settle in, because sleep, that's a risk. This is Let's Hear It for Spirits, where every
ghost deserves a toast.
Yeah, see, we're getting it.
What's with the pause?
We're getting it little by little. You know what? We'll get there eventually. But how are things going, man? How's life going today?
It's going great. You know, watching a little bit of paranormal videos. I've been looking more into about the whole Annabelle thing. It's kind of wild that it's considered missing right now, which I thought was kind of strange about that.
Yeah, I heard about that. I heard somebody took it out of the box or something like that. And I guess that house burnt down. It was weird, but
I don't know, just the amount of videos that are popping up about it is kind of wild. One doll really has this country kind of going a little bit crazy.
Yeah, and speaking of dolls, if I have to see one more goddamn Labubu, I'm gonna fucking lose my shit. Labubus.
What's with the Labubus?
They're giving me sleep paralysis at this point. If I have to see one more fucking Labubu, I'm gonna lose my shit.
Why? What's wrong with the Labubus? I mean, I know what they are. I don't collect them, but I'm just, what's wrong with them?
If I have to see one haunted doll, I'd rather see Annabelle than fucking Labubu.
Speaking of which, aren't you actually currently an owner of one of the replicas of the Raggedy Ann dolls?
Well, not a replica, but I do own 2 Raggedy Ann dolls.
And the Teddy Ruxpin as well, huh?
Yeah, well, 3 Teddy Ruxpins. But
that's right.
Yeah.
Got 3 Teddy Ruxpin. Okay, bro, you just might as well be asking to be haunted at this point.
Yeah, and you know what? If we get bigger from here on out, if anyone wants to send me their Raggedy Anns or Teddy Ruxpins, I'm all here. Just don't tell my wife.
Let's go ahead and keep sending more haunted stuff to him. That's a great idea, folks.
Right, we'll get the old box going. I'm ready for it. But you ready to crack into this story?
Sure. So today's article is going to be about what actually inspired the Freddy Krueger movie. And it's kind of interesting how it actually got inspired, because I'm a fan of horror movies myself, and I never really thought that I would actually look more back into the history of it. Because when you see Freddy Krueger, you automatically think that can't be true. Like, there's no way that happened. But evidently, it's actually in its own way kind of true from what the history that inspired it kind of do. So the story that I'm going to be reading today is kind of a little bit more about it. It's kind of a little bit dark. Well, there's really no happy ending to it.
Yeah,
besides that the movie got made.
But I mean, once again, we do really want to rephrase the fact that, we're not trying to mock anybody that has died. We're just trying to cope with it, make a little fun with it, and just tell a little bit of the story. But once again, if this is a little bit rough for you guys, this story could be a little bit uneasy and not for the faint of heart. So if it's not for you, feel free to listen to our next episode. I don't think would be as bad.
Well, I mean, we're drinking, so
Oh,
I think every episode is going to be kind of wild.
I've been drinking. But speaking of
Well, speaking
drinks,
of which,
yeah, see, there we go.
there you go.
We're thinking the
Oh,
same
now we
thing.
do it together.
Yes, timing is perfect. Oh, so one thing that we love to do in every episode is we like to make a themed drink based off of the story, and we just try to give you guys a little bit of a vibe, of what we're drinking, and just a little inspiration. So if you're just at home, you want to feel a little bit more in depth with the story, you want to have a nice little cocktail. We're not judging. We're drinkers ourselves, but and I say drinkers so lightly. But today's drink is called the Dream Reaper. And for this drink, you'll need dark rum, coffee liqueur like a Kahlua, anything like that you might have, and a cold brew coffee, and a little bit of cinnamon. To make this drink, it's super simple. All we're going to go ahead and do is just get a glass of ice, put 1.5 ounces of dark rum, 1 ounce of coffee liqueur, and then 2 ounces of a cold brew coffee. Just pour that all on top, give it a little stir, and put a pinch of cinnamon on top. And that's pretty much it for our Dream Reaper drink.
Can you repeat that one more time? I was trying to make that actually myself right now.
Oh, okay, here we go. So it's gonna take See? It sounds like you don't need that drink. Are you falling asleep over there?
I really hope not. There's a reason why there's coffee in this drink.
You gotta stay awake or else they're gonna get you at night.
We don't need to what's it called? Sleeping syndrome to call. I'm gonna go ahead and let's go with the sleeping syndrome, because unless the acronym SUNDS is pretty much more easier to remember for it.
Yeah, I thought it was called SUNDS. Or maybe I'm thinking SUDS from SpongeBob.
SUNDS.
He's got
I was thinking, let's see, I tried pronouncing it multiple times, like SUNDS. I was like SUNDS, and I'm just like
Sons of Anarchy.
I'm just gonna go with no, not the Sons of Anarchy.
No, it's the Sons of Anarchy.
That's a totally different topic, sir.
Maybe the 100 guys, they should have called themselves the Sons of Anarchy. Okay, I'll stop.
Oh, no.
I'll stop.
All right, so let's go ahead and see what this article is all about on what actually inspired the movie. So, back in 1984, Wes Craven introduced the world to one of the most iconic horror films of all time, The Nightmare on Elm Street. His creation of Freddy Krueger as a demon who kills teens in their sleep was heinous, terrifying, and literally ripped from the headlines. Craven found inspiration for the landmark horror film through an article that was published in the LA Times. He recounted the story of a refugee of a child for the Cambodian genocide. The genocide is actually one of the ones that me and Dylan have actually been talking about. That is kind of wild. That led up to us wanting to do more research on this, on more of the movie and everything. It's like I said, it's a crazy background this movie has. So this refugee child was terrified to sleep. The fear that he would be attacked in his dreams and never wake up. So when he finally fell asleep, his parents thought the crisis was over. Then they heard screams in the middle of the night. When he finally fell asleep, his parents thought this crisis was over. Then they heard screams in the middle of the night. By the time they got to him, he was dead. He died in the middle of a nightmare, which is wild. You would not expect anyone to die in their sleep like that. There's a lot of different sleep syndromes out there, like sleep apnea and all that really could do it, but dying from a nightmare is just something you're never told. So the story that Craven described wasn't an isolated incident. Dozens of Southeast Asian refugees in America died for unknown reasons in their sleep during the 1980s. The mysterious deaths were usually among young men in their 20s and 30s from the Hmong ethnic group. I hope I'm getting that word right. Do not judge me. And affected a large enough segment of this population to public health experts. The people suffering from this puzzling ailments were typically refugees
Who's getting
from
humbled?
excuse my talking.
It's all good.
From Laos. I hope I get that word right too. Laos.
Yeah, it is.
A small
King of the Hill once.
Oh yeah, because it's definitely about King of the Hill going.
I think so.
A small landlocked country in Southeast Asia, the Hmong minority group had been persecuted in Laos after they were recruited by the CIA to fight North Vietnamese soldiers during the Vietnam War. More than 30,000 Hmong soldiers helped the U.S. fight communism in the Northern Highlands where they lived, but died at a rate 10 times higher than their American counterparts. In 1975, the Vietnam War ended and Laos became a communist country. New leadership, their view by the Hmong as traders for their work in the United States. Many of the survivors from the war fled from their homes by the war to become refugees in Thailand or the U.S. So, I know it sounds a little kind of like getting a little bit off topic, but like the refugees that came on over here to California were the ones that were actually that had nightmares and they died in their sleep.
Yeah, that's the one that I heard about, but I also heard about the boy story a lot. Like that's the one that popped up the most. And I don't know if you heard that he was like hiding caffeine pills under his bed or something like that, and he had a coffee machine in the
I
closet.
did not know. I did not know he had caffeine pills. But I mean, if he was trying to stay awake, I'd probably be doing the exact same thing.
See, but that's the part that like confuses me because I'm like, what if that was leading to his death? You know, taking too much caffeine could really fuck with your, mental health.
You see, that's what's crazy about it because they, when they got into more research for the groups and everything like that, besides the boy, they were just saying that they were more traumatized by their experiences from back home, which was in Cambodia, pretty much. Right. They deal a great deal and everything, so they were basically blaming it on PTSD almost and saying that it was mostly them. You know what I mean?
See, and that makes a lot more sense. I mean, besides this boy running a fucking Dutch Bros in his damn closet, I don't know if you read that shit. He had a coffee machine in there and he's just cranking coffee like nonstop with those caffeine pills. But I mean, that I feel like is a huge factor into like, their death, when you start losing sleep, you start, it starts fucking with your head. And I feel like that was like a big issue for the boy. But
that
with
was
the other
pretty
guys,
much a big issue. Yeah. That was a pretty big issue. But like I said, I'll be trying to stay awake the entire time too. If I was having nightmares like that about dying like that, being killed and chased, I know these people went through a lot, especially like the refugees and the boy. I believe the boy was actually one of the refugees too. You know what I mean? It's really kind of crazy how you could just get something like that. And when people try doing research on you, the only thing they're thinking of is just like, oh, they're just traumatized. But it's like, what's causing it? How do you die in your sleep like that? Like I said, there's different symptoms that cause it, but how do you just die from a dream like that? I know for a fact that we've all had dreams where we probably like died or we fell off a cliff or one of those crazy wild dreams that we all have every once in a while.
Whoa.
Like I can't be the only one. Huh?
What? You said those crazy wild dreams.
I don't know what type of dreams you're talking about.
Look. But yeah, no.
Looking?
You could stop looking now. But I mean, I think this whole story is just crazy, but I still do feel like it comes from like a lot of PTSD, and I feel like it still puts a lot of fear into people's heads because, something that gets you in your sleep, that's more realistic than, a man with a ski mask coming at you with a hatchet.
So, as I'm also going to the article, looking right here, just like Freddy Krueger's targets, many of the afflicted were teenagers and young men. There was headlines on news articles that were such as mysterious fatal malady striking among men and night deaths of Asian men unexplained. Some crazy headlines. There was a 1981 article that actually described the scenes of the Latvian refugee who relocated to the U.S. from a refugee camp in Thailand with his family. Shortly after settling in his new country, 47-year-old young Lin Tao died in his sleep with his wife beside him in tears. He was the fourth among men to die while sleeping in 9 months. In the 13th Nocturnal Hmong death recorded since 1980, investigators could not find no medical explanation for the deaths. That's what's crazy. They cannot find the explanation for these deaths. They're just sleeping and dying. They're just dying. That's crazy. Like I can't like because like I said, there's symptoms like sleep apnea and all that, and they're just like, oh, sleep apnea killed that person. But like over here this time, they're just like, well, we can't find what's wrong. Don't know what's killing these people.
Yeah, and they were always talking about how like the dreams are so vivid and like they could just, they could all recollect like memories from their dream and a lot of them were matching each other's. But once again, that could go back to like PTSD, right? If you guys experience that same trauma, then it's likely, you guys are having similar dreams and it's easy to put it in each other's head. You saw this guy, right? Yeah, 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 I remember that guy. And it's easy to like fuck with each other's heads like that. But that's why I feel like maybe a lot of that PTSD had to come into play.
See that I do agree with, but as I continue on from here, they were blaming it on chemical nerve agents that refugees, soldiers from the Vietnam War were being exposed to when they were out there in the war. That theory was not supported by doctors on it. Yeah, doctor said that nerve gas doesn't act this way. There's no evidence. Dr. Larry V. Lumen, a county medical examiner. Secondly, he pretty much said if it was nerve gas, why does it affect only males and why only during the night? I'm pretty sure nerve gas ain't discriminating against all that. Like they're just like, oh, I'm only gonna get guys. And only at night.
I mean, hey, maybe Freddy Krueger rolls that way, I ain't judging him.
No wonder he had 5 knives on his gloves only, and he only went after guys. He never attacked the females. Yeah, wait, weren't there girls in the movies too?
Yeah, there was a lot of them. But I mean, the only thing that really like struck me the most is just which hand Freddy Krueger wiped his ass with.
Oh, he definitely used the extended version.
Yeah, and going into that, did you actually see that Wes Craven named Freddy Krueger after one of his childhood bullies?
Really? I did not know that.
It's so stupid. You're literally gonna put your bully on a pedestal and, name this whole genre after. Imagine the bully that's just sitting at home. Fred Krueger. Frederick, as you will. All just sitting at home. And, everyone's talking about this new horror movie. And then the name of the killer. And it's like, that's your name.
You're one of the horror icons of the world.
Yeah.
Congratulations. After you bullied me for so many years, let me go ahead and just make you even more famous.
Yeah. And then he actually has a quote. He says that one night I woke up in my own scream one night and he said, I wrote down, man kills kids in dream, kids die. That's
what? That's a quote?
Yeah, that's what he wrote.
That's a wild quote. What type of quote is that?
He literally just, he screamed so loud when he was sleeping. He woke up from that scream and just quickly grabbed a fucking piece of paper. Man kills kids in dream. Kids die. And I guess he was able to make a whole fucking series off of that.
Damn. That's something I did not know. Everything I was reading was pretty much led to this whole genocide thing that was going on, especially, I guess one of the more important factors was a boy that had that nightmare,
Yeah.
So, another theory that they got going on was, it's more about spirituality and all that, is they actually believe they were being punished by the spirits of their ancestors for leaving their homeland. Their anxiety centered around the inability to do right by their ancestral spirits because they're not there, or because you don't have the right things to perform the right rituals. Doctor says, I don't think that for many of the Hmong of that generation, a traditional explanation remain silent, if not more salient, than explanations related to cardiovascular problems. So this is where SUNDS comes in. They literally classified the name Unexplained Nocturnal Death Syndrome. It's actually being investigated by the Center for Disease Control at length. However, the wave of sudden unexplained nocturnal death syndrome among Southeast Asians, particularly in the Hmong group, is still unexplained. There's still a lot that they're not have figured out, and the fact that it's still called sudden unexplained nocturnal death syndrome is just wild. They really couldn't find a name for it. They don't know what's causing it, but I mean, gives you something to think about when you go to sleep, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, with all that coffee, for at least the boy, right, with the caffeine pills, I mean, I guess you could just say he was exhausted to death. But,
Oh, definitely.
but for the other guys, I still think it's all that, you know, stuff that they went through, all that trauma, everything. I mean, but I could see that, right? They have that whole folklore where they believe, that the spirit, was pressing on their chest while they were sleeping, and that's what was killing them.
Yeah, so sleep paralysis, huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
I was gonna say it sounds a lot like sleep paralysis.
Yeah.
But was sudden undeath? I cannot remember that word. Sudden unexplained nocturnal death syndrome.
Remember, Sons of Anarchy.
It's SUNDS. 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 SUNDS is still out there, and I guess tip, I guess, just don't rely on caffeine pills and coffee makers inside your home 24/7.
Exactly.
Don't want you to have a heart attack and actually have an unexplained nocturnal death syndrome.
Gotta lay off that caffeine.
I mean, we don't, but even though, one of the drinks we told you to make has caffeine in it.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm a little bit into like the movie. I think it's just crazy how, somebody could just hear about this story and then just get like a dream. He gets his own nightmare and then suddenly inspires him to make the whole Freddy Krueger Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, definitely. But still, the history behind this movie is something I never really would have thought about actually happening. Like, I never would have known that there was a whole genocide behind it if I would have never actually looked into it before. It really caught me interest to know about that, because there's other movies that have inspirations to them, like Paranormal Activity, The Conjuring, and all them. They all have their own backgrounds. A Nightmare on Elm Street was actually one of them. I did not believe were actually true until now. Though it's not actually based off it completely, but it's got the idea from it. Because I never would have heard of sudden unexplained nocturnal death syndrome at all.
Right.
Who knows? I probably could have fell asleep one day and never just woke up and they would have been like, oh, well, SUNDS, this guy right here, SUNDS.
Of Anarchy. Where the only patch you get is a toe tag.
What? That's a different Sons of Anarchy right there. I don't know what type of Sons of Anarchy you watching right there.
Look, let's make it a thing.
But, toe tags? Yeah. You want everyone to buy toe tags? It's big old nose toe tags for everyone.
It's the newest fashion.
Hey, check out my biggest toe tag. What'd you get? I got this toe tag.
Yeah, any toe tag's better than a camel toe.
If you're curious for what type of any more articles and everything on there, it's actually called the Among Death Sleep, I believe it was called. If not, you can also look into more sudden unexplained nocturnal death syndrome if you're more curious on what type of that it's going to do. It is a true thing. It is claimed by the Center for Disease Control. How far they've gone into the research for that, I am totally not sure. But it is still a scary thought. And rest in peace to all the people that died in that incident from way back then, the Cambodian genocide. They went through a lot. The refugees that did come over here, there's still some alive, from what I've been told. So I'm glad everyone's okay. Just
yeah,
I'm going to be sleeping a little bit differently lately. So he's doing research on this.
No, definitely. I mean, I think it's crazy, but I'm just happy that this happened, in the 80s. Just seeing the fact that a lot of this happened in the 80s, makes me feel a little bit better that it hasn't happened really recent.
I mean, do we know, has it happened recently?
Yeah, I'm hoping. Please, please,
Do
please,
we
please,
know
please,
about
please,
this? Do we
please,
know
please,
that?
please. No, it was really just reading about this like made me very like uncomfortable just because the whole sleep thing. It's more real. It's definitely more real. You hear a lot of paranormal stories about ghosts, demons, monsters, and at the end of the day, you're happy you're sleeping in your home and not that home. But when you hear something about sleep, it's a little bit harder on you because that's something that just literally could happen to anybody, and it's just no explanation. But the thing is, though, is just knowing that it happened more back then. It gives you a little bit more mind of ease.
I'm trying to figure out there's actual things that are going on right here, and it hasn't really happened back then. The most recent one, I believe, was a
1980,
child of 15 months in 1997.
Okay, let's see a little bit better. We're getting in the 90s, and it's
But
slowly.
they are they're still studying it though.
Yeah,
They're still trying to identify the cause for it, which I mean, there's not a lot they can really do, I guess. I mean, how do you try finding something that named unexplained death syndrome?
right. It's almost like those people that like implode or like explode, people that just randomly catch fire.
People that explode randomly?
You've never seen like
What?
those stories of those people just randomly catching fire.
No, I've never seen anyone just randomly
All right,
like
putting
just blow
putting new
up all of a
fear.
sudden.
I'm putting new fear into your head, right?
What is
So
this fucking what's that movie fucking called? Fuck, I forgot what that movie was called.
the Hangover.
No, yes, The Hangover. The Hangover was the one talking about death. The only death they were experiencing was hangover and
Yeah,
regretting life the next day.
exactly. But no, there's articles about people just randomly, is it imploding, exploding? I don't know. Please leave a comment. Fucking make me feel stupid in the comments. But they just randomly burst into flames, while they're sleeping. And I think that one's like crazy too. It's still unexplained. It doesn't happen as frequent, but that one still kind of gives me, chills too.
How does it happen though? What the fuck?
Well,
Like,
it's just because they randomly hold a lighter in their pocket and then just randomly it sparks off and kills them. I don't know, man.
I'm more confused about what's going on. I feel like there's gonna be a movie on it. Like, there you go, Final Destination. I swear to God, is this Final Destination where everything is like happening out of the fucking like blue?
I
Like
think
we don't know what's going on.
I'm not too exactly sure, but I'm definitely not going to see the newest one, even though I heard that that's the last one before that. What is it? The director died?
The director died.
Yeah, I thought the director died to that movie, and that was like the last one he filmed. Somebody.
I haven't seen the new one yet, but I know. But if he's died, then damn, that's actually pretty scary.
Yeah, it was
So
his
there's
final
actually.
destination.
So I'm trying to find some more recent deaths for sudden unexplained death syndrome, and there is another one called SUID, SUD, and it's sudden unexpected infant death.
Oh my god.
It's a major public health concern. About 3,700 sudden unexpected infant deaths reported in the United States in 2022. So there's a lot of things that I really did not know about, and the movie by Wes Craven has got me researching all these interesting stuff. So don't mean to put fear in people's lives like that. Just you'll be okay. Caffeine pills, coffee bed, coffee maker in the house. You'll be all right. Just take it easy on the caffeine.
And
I'm
the
no
other
doctor,
one,
but
the other one was called spontaneous human combustion. I just looked it up right now.
Spontaneous human
I could
combustion.
hear the type.
Yeah, hell yeah. I want to see this.
You need to know.
Because what, like, I work outside for all I know, the fucking thing's gonna blow up on me one day, and I'm gonna be like, why am I on fire?
Randomly, your body's just gonna catch fire.
Survivors?
Survivor. Is that considered rage quitting?
It's not true. The phenomenon where human body bursts into flames without apparent external ignition source.
See,
it's evidently a popular topic.
Oh yeah, because it actually happens pretty often.
No scientific evidence. It claims spontaneous human combustion is, I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that concept, with no supporting evidence in the scientific community. If I try pronouncing that word, I'm just gonna sound like crazy, man.
All right, I'm just gonna make it a little easier. People go boom.
Just people go boom.
People go boom randomly.
So we got people dying in their sleep out of fucking now. We got people combustion. Poor babies are unexplained deaths as well. Like, what type of research or what type of topic did we just get into?
I'll just grab some caffeine, crack it open, whatever caffeine you're choosing tonight, and let's just stay awake. But
yeah, we could stay awake, but that's not going to help anyone from spontaneously combusting now, is that? Like, I don't even think there's a way that'll even prevent that. You could just magically just be like, hey.
And if I'm just kidding, so this is so stupid, but right, we're all drinking, right? If we combust, does that make us a Molotov?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely. All the alcohol is just definitely gonna help at the bat where it's gonna explode on impact.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna go high five your bro and all of a sudden just burst into fire.
Human Molotov.
Maybe the next superhero in the next movie. What's your superpower? The human Molotov. What does that actually do? Here, hold my beer.
Hold my beer. Why chugging that? I want to make that explosion bigger.
his superpowers are drinking more to get more fuel.
Oh yeah.
Is there actual videos about this or no?
Yeah, like people just set up their cameras at night. Just combust. I don't know. I'm about to combust.
I'm about to combust. Is that the call for the power right there? I'm about to combust, like Danny Phantom. It's like a Danny Phantom reference. I'm about to combust and I'm going ghost. I'm about to combust. So the real question is do these people know what's gonna happen? Like, do they just like, oh man, all of a sudden it's so hot? Like, what's going on?
No, they're not a fucking bomb. They're not just counting off like a fuse. You don't know when you're gonna blow up.
A fucking screen pops up in front, and then you got 10 seconds of fun water.
What do you do? And it's sad because I see the stories and the people are like, yeah, I combusted, so I tried to do the whole stop, drop, and roll, and it's like, why? You're on fire. You are the fire, bro. Like you can't put out the internal fire.
So when you put out a fire, you gotta always aim for the center, right? So does that mean they're gonna be aiming for your stomach?
I guess so. I mean, how do you even you just hop in the shower? Is that the safest bet?
I'll jump in the pool. Fuck that.
Oh yeah, because we all got those, right?
No, yeah, I mean, we all got those outdoor portable pools. I see now.
Yeah.
Unless it's winter and everything's covered up. You gonna go pick yourself up one of those portable pools in case you combust?
Yeah, for the 4th of July, I really want to get one of those like little kid pools. Nothing like
people combusting all over the place with 4th of July. There's no spontaneous events there. Just people just shooting fireworks at each other.
Yeah. What if one of those fireworks that you think is a firework is actually somebody combusting?
I'm gonna combust.
Combust.
Doing this fucking rally cry.
Oh my god. We're like, damn, that firework was amazing. It's actually somebody combusting out in the middle of the desert.
That's your cousin Steve. What? I just can't get over that. I just can't. I really can't get over that. Well, I guess well, be careful with sleeping.
Right.
If you randomly start saying I'm gonna combust, you know it's about to happen.
Exactly.
And just be careful with your babies.
Exactly.
I have no idea what is going on with this world, but going on, we got an Annabelle doll that's evidently missing. We got people dying in their sleep, people spontaneous combusting, and babies dying. This is a definitely interesting year so far.
Yeah, that's a good topic.
Oh yeah, definitely. I've never known about this. What's next? Trees chasing people down the street?
Well, actually, I got something about that.
Actually, there is a story out there about the tectonic plates out of the Earth actually getting caught on camera moving. Have you heard about that one?
No.
Yeah, there's actually a video out there that someone caught one of the plates shifting on the Earth, and the entire fucking ground just decided to be like, we're moving to the left.
Yeah, the only plate I heard about shifting was in our last episode about Okiku and that missing plate.
Oh, there's a missing plate right there.
Yeah, that's the only plate that I saw shift.
We're back in the old Kiku.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about the bugs too.
Exactly.
At least she had a interesting reason to die, and people were able to explain it.
Yeah.
Now, like what's being told right here, because Jesus Christ, man, that's still scary thinking right there. I can't stop thinking about that. Like, we could just be talking right now, and all of a sudden, just bam, fire.
If you hear me go quiet, you know why.
I don't think you're gonna be quiet.
I mean, you don't know.
Unless you mute your mic all of a sudden.
My mic's gonna be going in and out. Just But everyone
started chain reaction.
Yeah, everyone, here's what we left with. So just a reminder, this is about a young boy in California scared out of his mind who was hiding the coffee pot in the closet just to stay awake and dying in his sleep. And, of course, dozens more men who fled war zones, refugee camps and real world horror, only to die quietly in American bedrooms. No wounds, no warning, just fear and a nightmare that they never woke up from. The doctors, of course, called it SUNDS, not Sons of Anarchy, but sudden unexplained nocturnal death syndrome. And, their families didn't need a lab report. They said something was coming from in their dreams, a spirit, a shadow, a curse that doesn't need a passport, apparently. But that's what inspired Freddy Krueger. Not a slasher, not a monster, just fear, pure and ancient, wrapped in folklore trauma. And the American dream turned inside out, of course.
And spontaneous combustion.
Yeah, we're about to combust all over the place. It's easy to laugh at horror when it's wearing a mask and delivering one-liners, but the real nightmare, it doesn't have to announce itself. It doesn't wait for you to fall asleep. It's already there, tucked in the corners of your mind. So
just know that me, Dylan, anyone else will never know if we're going to die in our sleep or spontaneously combust.
Exactly.
I really do hope a screen pops up in front of me if I want to spontaneously combust with a countdown. So you're about to explode in 10, 9, 8, 7.
Nothing like combusting with the boys.
Everyone hold hands. We're all about to be on fire.
Oh yeah, what if that's the original Burning Man?
Oh yeah. That's where the idea came from. There's some dude that was just chilling there, be like, "Yo, did you see that man just fucking combusted?" Yeah, I heard them shout, "I'm gonna combust." And the Burning Man was born after that.
Oh man, let's start rumors now. Everyone, get on Twitter. Start rumors now. That's where Burning Man started.
Well, people spontaneously combust. There's gonna be a movie about that. I really do hope they're gonna make a movie about that. Just a random spirit going around setting people on fire.
Just making people combust.
Yeah, making people combust.
Oh, some of these spirits can make me combust.
Oh yeah, Okiku.
I was like, I heard my wife scream. I was like, did I say that joke too loud? I'm sorry.
Oh man.
All right, guys.
Does she combust?
Yeah, I'm gonna be dying in my sleep tonight, I guess.
It's okay. We'll claim it as SUNDS, sudden unexplained death syndrome.
Exactly.
You'll be a part of the next series of Freddy Krueger, sir.
Waiting for it. Anything
As
else?
of that, everything else seems pretty normal from the scary type of conversation we just had. Sounds normal to us. It sounds a little crazy about out there, but I hope you all sleep well.
Yeah, and if tonight's story gave you chills, just wait till you close your eyes.
And you'll never know when you're going to combust.
And then I hope you guys are looking forward to our next story. We will be posting usually every Friday, so look out for it. I know this last one wasn't on a Friday, but we will be posting every Friday. For us, we record usually on Sundays, Mondays, and then we'll have it out for you guys every Friday, like around 8 p.m. MST.
Okay. All right, and also don't forget, we'll also be making a YouTube channel as well, going through with all this. And again, I do like to put out there that we would love to hear the stories, hear the comments that you all have, whatever things you may have found out. Maybe there's something we missed on today's article that you guys would like us to know about, or even any type of ghost stories or anything that you guys have witnessed yourself and just never really wanted to talk about it with anyone because you're afraid that no one else believed. Like I was saying, me and Dylan are full-on believers, even though we've been drinking, but we do believe in the paranormal and everything that happens all around us as well. Do be careful out there. Careful sleeping. Don't take a lot of caffeine. And I don't know what to tell you about the spontaneous combustion. Good luck with that.
Yeah. If you guys combust, please leave a comment. Let us know how the experience was. That way we can go ahead and put it in our next podcast.
And do your best to leave just not the words we want a full description of what you're feeling. Well, I'm only concerned of how you felt in the beginning. Did the screen pop up in front of you saying 10, 9, 8, 7?
Pressing Q.
Pressing Q. It turned to a full-on game after that.
Yeah. But
other than that, we would like to say you guys have a good night. And we are, let's hear it,
for spirits.
Wherever ghost
deserves a toast.
Peace.
See you guys later. I didn't say anything last time. I feel bad.
Wow.